So last night I went to go see Project Hail Mary at the 9:30 showing at my local theater, and in hindsight, I should not do that anymore. We didn't get back until, or out at the theater until about 12:15. It was just me and an older couple in there. We were the only ones in there, which normally I like a full theater, but sometimes it is nice just to kind of have like you and maybe a couple other people in there. It's super nice. But I'm definitely getting too old to be out that late, so I need to like cap it at like 8 o'clock showings, and that's it. But anyways, I did go see the movie, and I thought it was awesome. I loved it. It's a great time. It's a blast. It's funny. It's heartbreaking. It's heartwarming. And I wanted to go over some of the things that I loved about it, a couple of the things that I had a few nitpicks on, and just kind of lay that out for you guys. And then if you guys have seen it, hopefully you'll let me know what you guys think in the comments. And then if you haven't seen it and you have the means to, highly recommend it. This movie is great, and it's going to be one of those movies that we talk about in the same vein as like The Martian. So obviously we start with Ryan Gosling, great in this movie, as he is in all of his projects. Not a lot to say about him. He's Ryan Gosling. He does a great job. The character Dr. Grace is a very interesting character with a very interesting backstory, which they kind of go through in this movie. You're in the present with him in space, and then intercut in throughout the movie are flashbacks into basically how he got in the situation that he's in. So I thought that was super interesting. Very well written character, very well played character by Ryan Gosling. And then we have this adorable little alien rock, who Ryan Gosling's character, Dr. Grace, names Rocky, and is definitely like kind of like what you would think is one of those Disney animal supporting cast characters that's just super adorable, but it's in this adult mature movie, and like somehow it really works. And your suspension of disbelief is like, it doesn't have to be that much. I mean, it's a sci-fi movie, so there's some of it obviously, but Rocky is practical. It's a practical puppet. It's not CGI, and so that really helped me in like believing that this was a real alien, and he was interacting authentically with Dr. Grace. And that's kind of one of the things I loved overall. The visuals as a whole, I mean, the color is beautiful. It's a space sci-fi movie that's pretty much to be expected, but one of the directors, either Phil or what are their names? Lord or Miller, can't remember their first names. One of them said that they didn't use a green screen or blue screen at all in this movie. Very impressive. It seems like they really prioritized practical where they could. Obviously, there are VFX in this movie, clearly, but it is very noticeable. Like the inside shuttle is almost all practical, and Rocky is practical. And when they shoot exterior space shots, it's like that wasn't a green screen. It was like just like a black screen, so it could play more natural colors on Ryan's suit and his face. And so it's just all of those little things that help to make this movie feel a little bit more grounded, considering how sci-fi the concept is and the movie is as a whole. And then another thing that I really loved about this movie that just helped really elevate it was the score. The music of this movie is great. The needle drops are great too, like where they play actual songs with lyrics, but the score just really just elevates this movie to the next level. It gives it a very epic feel. And the movie, the content itself is already epic, but when you have a score that every time a piece starts playing or comes in and swells in, and it just creates this grandiose vision of this scene and the movie as a whole. It's very well done, and it's very similar to me how Hans Zimmer treated specifically Dune 2, Dune as a whole, but Dune 2, where it's like every time there was a drop in there, it just totally elevates the scene. And I felt the same way about the music in this movie. And then this movie is really not afraid to just have an emotional pull and tug on you. It makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it makes you sad cry, it makes you happy cry. It is very unafraid and unapologetic about how emotional it is. This is a movie that is very funny. I was not expecting this movie to be anywhere near as funny as it is. And I think every joke worked for me. This is a genuinely funny movie, and it's not apologetic about how funny it is at all. Like, I mean, it's like, it's not MCU level, like wit or humor. And when I say level, I don't mean like upper echelon. I mean, it's not the same type of humor. There's similar types, but it's the same kind of pacing, and when it hits you, and it knows when to break up some of the tension with a joke, and just the humor. It's very unapologetic. It is a funny movie, but it's, for me, never at the expense of the emotional weight of each given scene or the movie as a whole. And like I said, this movie is very tense. I mean, there are a couple scenes that I can think of specifically where I genuinely was on the edge of my seat, mouth open, not knowing what was going to happen next. I haven't read the book, so I don't know how this will affect people who have read the book, if they'll feel tension in these scenes, but it was very suspenseful for me, very satisfying, and just kind of helped bridge the gap again to that grandiose feeling of the tense scenes mixed with the music. It all came together very, very beautifully, and the movie is very tense in some parts. And the movie is also very heartbreaking. I mean, like I said, it's not afraid to make you cry, to make you sad cry, or to make you happy cry. They have these very heartbreaking moments, but they're also not afraid to have that kind of fairy tale, like happy for the sake of like showing these characters bonding and being happy, and talking specifically about Grace and Rocky. Like, it's not afraid to really indulge in kind of the advantage, I won't give anything away, but like the advantages in their relationship, and just their relationship as it grows as a whole. It's not afraid to just take you to the happy place. Like, it is a very tense movie, but it's not afraid to really give you those relief points that are very earned and very character driven, and that just really helps drive home whenever something emotional happens, either with a character or just with a situation or whatever it is. Like, you really feel like I never cried tears in this movie, but I choked up a couple times. Like, this is a genuinely emotional movie, and I was expecting it to be good, but I wasn't expecting it to be emotional on the level that it was. And that brings me to really the only negative I have about this movie, is that I think it's about 10 or 15 minutes too long. I think they should have cut about 10 or 15 minutes out. And it has a similar ending structure as like Return of the King. And I love Return of the King. I love all of its endings. But this movie also has what feels like 4 or 5 or 6 endings, where I thought that the movie was over. It had this very nice resolution scene. And then the movie goes on for like, 9, 10, 11 more minutes. And that happens a couple times. So overall, I think the movie is just a tad too long. With that being said, I have no idea what you would cut out. Like, everything that's in the movie, I feel like, is important, with the exception of maybe one scene that I'm thinking about. But it'd be super spoilery for me to say that, so I'm not going to. But overall, I don't know how much, and it definitely wouldn't take out what would need to be taken out for me to not think that this movie was too long. So, again, overall, it's just a tad too long. But with that being said, again, like, I had an awesome time with this movie. This was a great time. Again, this is going to be like remembered with, I assume at least, kind of like the great sci-fi space epic movies. Ryan Gosling hit it out of the park. Lord Miller did an amazing job. All of the pieces that just put this movie together were just all at the highest level, to where it creates a truly grand experience. And it's one of those movies that are just like, man, like this is just a great movie. So yeah, I mean, I'd probably give this movie, if I was going to rate it out of 10, probably an 8.5 to a 9, high 8s to a 9 for sure. This movie is such a blast. So again, if you've seen it, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend that if you have the means to see it, go see it. You'll have a great time. You will not be disappointed.